Right, here we go with the BMW R65. I'm going to get this out of the van, have a walk around it. This one, we're not going to do a great deal to it, we just want to get it running, do some basic checks or safety checks and things like that, because we've already got a customer that wants this one, is going to do a lot of work on it and potentially turn it into a cafe racer. So yeah, we just want to make sure engine wise that it runs, that we've not got any major problems within that. Check out the tank, although they'll probably end up changing that anyway. Go over the brakes, check the diff oil, things like that. So basics only on this one. So we should be able to get through this hopefully within the day. So it's in reasonable condition. It hasn't had a life of salt as it would have done in the UK, but it's had a life, we can tell that. So there's a bit of like oxidisation on the rear axle. The exhausts are in good condition. It's got a loose seat on it. Need to sort out whatever's going on with that. And it looks like it used to have a fairing on it, I'm guessing by this bracket. As you can see, it's in not too bad condition. A damn good clean, and assuming it runs okay. Check out the airbox a bit later. But yeah, panels are all there. Oh, okay, don't know if the key fits this. Well, it doesn't look like you need to at the moment. It's got a pannier racks on it. And a rear rack. So I don't think there's a battery in it at the moment. I'm not going to know till I try and get this seat off. Which way does it hinge? I think it's that way. Okay. So battery. Ah, there is. I can see in there. There is a battery on it. So access through the side panel by the look of it. So we'll get that out. So I don't believe it's got any charge in it. Let's just see. Okay. He doesn't want to go in. It's another job. Which way up? Ah, there we go. Yeah, dead. Nothing coming. Okay, so we'll get the battery out, hook up another one, charge that. Looks like brake fluid level is non-existent. There's a little bit in there because I managed to use the brake as I pulled it out of the van. Yeah, okay. Seat base, okay, look, so we've got a little bit of damage on the seat base there, so I might be able to get into it. Looks like somebody's been in there already. Might be able to get into there. Yeah, they've done a bit of a bodge job. Cut that out. I can weld another plate into there to take that seat. Oh, rubber. Okay. Assuming the next person wants the existing seat, that is. If not, we'll hang on to that, fix it, move it on that sideways to someone else. So what do we got? This looks like, yep, rear cover in there. So on the R100, this whole tail unit comes up and exposes the storage space. On this one, it's just the seat itself. Okay, so it looks like we've got a peg missing. So on the actual seat bracket there should be a peg down there that this fits onto. There is one on the front, it clearly isn't hooked into it there. But again, all things that might need sorting by the next owner. What we're going to do is get it running and then have a chat with them about whether or not they want us to do any more. Left-hand exhaust, all good. Yeah, this one might be quite easy. We'll have to clean the carbs out. They've got a clip on the underside, so we'll take a look under there first of all. That might just give us an idea of how clean they are by seeing the float bowls. And oil, is that? Yep. Let's just see what the oil's like. Oh, that actually looks not bad. Yeah, not bad. That's a good sign. It is over full by the look of it though. Okay. Someone has potentially looked after it on the inside, but maybe not the outside. Okay, well, start working around this and see if we can get it started. Right, let's get the seat off and see if we can get the battery out. Okay, we've now got access to the battery. So we'll just put a meter across the terminals on that. Oh, 12.3. Okay. Let's connect that up and see what we've got that works. Let's see what we've got. Nothing. Yep. Nothing. No, completely dead. Is there a fuse? Nothing obvious. Okay, I'll have to place where that's not working. So the battery was showing over 12 volts when it wasn't connected. So it might not be that healthy. Connect another one up to it and see if that makes any difference, although I would have expected that would have been enough to power some lights. So I've got another auxiliary battery connected. So 13.7, so that should be enough for anything. So obviously we've got an issue somewhere. I'll try and track down where the fuses are. Tank is all good underneath. Looks like we've had a leak on the petcocks. Nothing in it. Okay, we've got I'm guessing there's a fuse. Yes, there is. Okay. 2 fuses. They look okay, but we'll just put a continuity test across those. Yeah. Yep. I've traced the wire back from the ignition switch up here, and it's this one, and pulled the connector. And if I go across, there's a red coming into this, so if I go across the red to the battery, let's get the meter in sight, just about see that, to the battery, then 12 volts off of the battery that's fitted, just about 12. So power is coming through to the red on here. Now if this is kind of a normal, I'm assuming that heavier wire on here, the green one, is the output of that. So it implies to me that there's possibly something wrong with the switch. So we'll pull that apart, get that off. So there's a couple of screws I need to get to, which are kind of hidden in here, to take this cowling off. So I might have to take the clocks off first. Clips, and then the bottom of it comes off. There we go. So what I probably should do is just test some continuity across the terminals within the other end of that switch. So he is in the off position. I'm kind of assuming that what you can possibly see here is the 2 larger terminals. One is the in, one is effectively the out. So the red one is that one. Let's get a bit closer. Might not be able to see the gauge, but that's not showing any continuity. Let's click it over to the on. Nothing. Okay, there is on the smaller, so one of the smaller connectors. So let's switch it off and see if that's still there. Yeah, it's not. Okay, so back on. So we've got 2 smaller connectors. That one, nothing. That one, Yes. That one, no. Okay. Okay. Problem solved. What I've done, I traced the wires coming up into the headlight, and I actually noticed, I didn't see this earlier, perhaps the battery I had wasn't powerful enough, but we've got the park light working, which is first position key setting. So I've got another BMW R100, which has got a 2 position. I just thought the R65s might only be a 1 position, but no, what that is a first position, and it won't turn any further. So it's feeding the auxiliary equipment, lights and stuff like that. But if I go across this, so I'm going to just touch it onto the green here. You might be able to hear the solenoid click as well. But also what we've got going on, let's do it again. There we go. So we've got oil light, and you see a little kick on the rev counter as well. So the key isn't working, or the barrel isn't working. So we've got neutral light. There we go. Okay, so I'm actually just going to leave that connected. Put the crocodile clip across it. Little splash, doesn't like that. Okay. And go through some of the other things we've got going on. So what have we got? So now I've got headlight, main beam, and that's good. I've got indicators, have I? I've disconnected the rear, so that might need a continuity right through to the rear, but they're not working. So let's just connect up the rear again. That was a connector down here. Okay, check the rear out. No, it doesn't look like we've got any sign of life in there. No, so nothing in that. Indicators, also nothing. Might be I've got a few other connectors out at the moment, so we'll put those back in. And then final test. Let's see if the starter motor wants to give me anything. It does. Okay. Right, we're making progress. Let me reconnect everything. And then possibly next jobs is have a look at the carbs. So auxiliary fuel tank, and I've actually got a balance pipe set up there because these carbs are balanced across. So I've only got the fuel tank connected to one, but it feeds both as a result. So I had to put the balance pipe in, otherwise it'll overflow from this tube here. So now got auxiliary battery connected as well, and also got the connector across the ignition switch because of the fault in the ignition switch. So now we'll see if it goes. Connections come off. Let's put that back on. That's only running on one cylinder. The other side, this pipe here, is still cool. There we go. The other one is untouchable. So we've either got a spark issue or a carb that needs cleaning out. So let's have a quick look. Let's pop that out. Looking a little black. It's got fuel on it though. So let's turn that over and have a look. So as you can see, that's got spark, so we must have a fueling issue going on there. So we proved we got spark. So what we'll do is just whip the carb off, check through on the pilot jets, well, all jets, give it a good clean. So let's get that on the bench. Let's get this apart, have a look and see what the condition is inside. Ugh. Okay, that needs a bit of a clean. That all seems much better than the R100 one I took apart the other day. A lot more loose and free. So let's get into there we go. Pilot. Now there's a rubber seal around that. I can feel that's quite tight, so they don't just fall out, so you need to kind of grab them. Might have a smaller pair of these. There we go, got it. And looks pretty clean in there. But let's have a look at. Okay, there is a difficult to see on camera, but a small hole through that. I will run a small piece of wire through it. But let's look across. Yeah, looking across those, they're blocked. So We'll run a small piece of wire through those. Let's take a strand or two. Let's get through the side ones. Let's run a single strand up the middle. There we go, sorted. So I also need to find a new rubber. I can see this one has got a little crack just there at the front towards camera there. So we'll get a new O-ring to go on that. I've got a box of O-rings. I'll have a look through those. So that no 8. No, that's a 9. Oh no, it's an 8. Okay, that's clear through there. So let's just get the float pin out. It's already partially out, I can see, the knurled bit showing. Oh, there we go, straight out. And I need to look up what the height should be on that. But the tip of that looks okay. We weren't suffering any overflow issues anyway. But I'm inclined to drop this into the buzz box and get it clean anyway. And then over here, just see how many turns we've got on this. Not even half a turn. We'll give that a squirt through as well, and it's all going into the cleaner. Let's have a look under the top. So return spring on the choke. And look at that, don't lose it. Okay, that came free. Next one. Yep. That looks good. Yep, no issues with that. Okay, let's go and mix up some liquid for cleaner and drop that in it, along with the smaller components and the bowl. Right, what we've got going in here is hot water, so I don't have to wait so long because I'm lazy. There we go. A little bit of washing up liquid. And concentrated bike cleaner. I use this as a substitute for the muck off. It's pretty good. I've used it on car wheels, things like that, but we drop a bit of that in there, not too much. This is the concentrate, so this actually mixes up into, I think it's about 10 litres. Yeah, dilutes to make 11 litres. Works out a cheaper way of for your muck off competitor, basically. I'll do a separate video on this and show you exactly how good it is and pound for pound what you can save over muck off. We'll set that going. Okay, there's a little bit of sludge in the bottom there. I'm sure that will come out. It's a little bit hot. Yep, that's all loose. Still a bit of muck down in the jet hollow there, but we'll get that cleaned out and start putting it back together. But overall, pretty clean. Right hand side one is done. Now going to do exactly the same on the left. Refitted the carbs, left side and right side, obviously. I've got the auxiliary fuel back in because I haven't filled anything into this yet or checked the petcocks. Balance pipe in, as I've mentioned before, it's all balanced, so need to put this in for the height. And now, last part is connect up the faulty switch across to, and you'll see all the lights come on the dash. Get that, there we go. Because I'm now connected to an auxiliary battery, so we're ready to give it another start. Okay, that's sounding quite nice. So we'll have a chat with the customer, see what next steps they want to do, and we'll go from there. Please like and subscribe. For more, we're going to go back to the R100 RS and also come back to this once we've got some more info from the customer. But like and subscribe for more content. Always like your views. We've got loads of different bikes that we're going to be working on, Italian, English, and Japanese.